Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Anna.
What are we watching?
We are watching our 1,000th game of Wingspan. So we have now played 1,000 games, and
plus a few.
more. Actually, we're over 1,000 now. But we recorded the thousandth game. That's really hard to say. thousandth game.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
You almost got it.
Thanks.
Let's try.
Okay,
thousandth. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we recorded it because it seemed like a momentous achievement.
Indeed.
To have gotten to 1,000 games.
We earned our comma.
Yeah. So what do we want to say? We thought we would just put it out there. We're showing it at like 5 times speed.
Yes.
We know that no one's going to sit there and like analyze the whole thing. Well, probably no one is.
No.
But we just thought it'd be fun to show it.
Yes. And just full disclosure, spoiler alert. I had a terrible game.
Did you
well
win?
below average.
I don't even remember.
You won, and you had an above average game, which is in keeping with our recent trend. My scores have been going down, and Lisa's scores have been going up.
We'll talk about maybe that in a moment.
Okay.
But let's talk about. So we've been playing Wingspan since
January 2020.
January 2020. So it had been around for a while, and we are birders. We love birds.
Yep.
We are big game players. And so everyone was telling us, you've got to play this game. You've got to play this game.
But we just kept not getting it.
Yeah.
And finally, Lisa's cousins who love games and introduce us to games all the time, Crystal and Tom, thanks Crystal and Tom, sent us this game in the mail and basically said, you have to play this game right now. And we did. And then we never stopped.
Yeah. And then of course the pandemic. So like many of you, we played many a game during lockdown.
Yeah, when we thought the world was ending and we were envisioning post-apocalyptic survival, we were just doing that while playing Wingspan.
Yeah. And we also really appreciate Elizabeth Hargrave. Thank you for inventing this game and for thinking about. I'm also a science professor and Hannah is a science education professor. So we love the nature theme and that it's not just a colonialist, take over the world kind of theme, which so many games are. So we really love it.
I love this game because of that lack of a colonialist, imperialist theme. I also love that it doesn't have antiquated gender roles in it. So many games have characters that have really binary cisgender heteronormative gender roles, and I'm just tired of that, and this doesn't have any of those things.
So we love it, and we also love it, as many of you do, because of it's always new and it's always different, and you can play it 1,000 times literally and still want to play it more.
Yes, because even if we're always chasing the high scores. Maybe I'll put our stats up. So I have a high score of 163, and I know that there are people out there who have scored in the 170s. And I think even there's been a 180 score now for the people who play tons and tons of games on the electronic one. And I think that those high scores are amazing and notable. Yeah. I also know that sometimes when people play the electronic version, they can dump the games where they don't get good starting hands. And so I think it'll take us longer to get high scores like that.
We'll get there though. I mean, we can tell that the potential is there for a higher score.
Yes, we can. Yeah. We can absolutely tell 170s and 180s is possible with Oceania. Yeah. So, but even if we don't get a high score, each little game is like its own individual puzzle, and we can have a really fun game where there are interesting and unexpected emergent properties of the birds interacting with each other on our boards that just make for unique games that we've never played before. And so even if I score 103, like I did in this game, which was pretty low because my average is 111, Lisa's average is 107, and it's still fun. And we still want to play again.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if we start the day out with a bad game, we're like, well, I guess we're going to have to play again.
Yeah.
Because can't start the day out with a 103. Okay. Here's one notable feature of our 1000th game. Have any of you ever played a game where there are so many good cards? Look at that look at that. What's available? A Franklin's Gull. It disappeared.
We just threw
a bush
it all away.
And something else that was really good in the middle.
A red-legged partridge
or black naughty or something.
So many good birds.
We were overwhelmed with how many good birds there were coming our way.
And I got the little penguin.
Yes, you did in the 1000th game. Yeah. That was great. Oh, the bush tit was there and didn't get played. Yeah. That's probably why I lost.
It was unbelievable the amount of good birds, and it was not.
We shuffled very carefully, and the amount of good birds paralyzed my decision making because I wanted to play them all, and because I had so many good cards in my hand, I hardly ever took birds, so I didn't really have a lot of junk birds to tuck or use for other things. So it was a hindrance, all those good cards.
Yeah.
However, I do think that to get a really, really high score, you have to get lucky. I think the recipe for a high score is, the kill gull raven combo in the prairie, and then you have to get lucky with other cards and get a lot of high scores.
Yeah.
High
Okay.
scoring
So
cards.
was going to mention, as Hannah pointed out earlier, my scores are going up. And part of the reason, so my scores in general are lower than Hannah's by a little bit. And I realized that I think one of the reasons she is winning is because she's taking advantage of a lot of those special Oceania powers, like the blue powers and the yellow powers, or, the end of game powers. And so I started doing that just in the last 20 games, and I really saw my scores take an uptick. So I think that is one strategy that I hadn't really realized until recently, that you really need to make use of those special powers to get the high score.
Yeah. I think my main strategy is to try to build just 2 engines if I can. Is that the end of the game? My beer is empty. It must be over. Oh, this is what I was like, we recorded a terrible game 103.
Hey, it is the way it is.
It is.
Is there anything else we need to say?
We love this game. We're probably going to keep playing it forever.
Yeah,
we have taken breaks though.
2000. Oh yeah, we have.
We have gotten to 1000 what we thought was a quite reasonable pace, because we've taken long breaks to learn new games and play other games. Yet we keep coming back to Wingspan because nothing has the sustainability for us, because nothing has been able to produce the variation in every single game. And we go after those games that say this is like Wingspan. Games are starting to say it's a lot like Wingspan, and we might play it, but it's just the variability is not as much.
Yeah, you actually said at one point, let's just stop playing Wingspan until the next expansion comes out. So that was our intention.
But we can't do it.
And then we're just like, no, I want to play Wingspan.
Every once in a while, we take breaks to play little games. Like we'll go on a Blockus run. We'll play Fox in the Forest. We'll play Hive. We'll play.
Yeah, we do that every once in a while.
Yes.
So this is not the only game we play, but almost.
We don't take it when we travel. We don't take it when we're camping.
That's true.
So
that means there have been days when we played many games.
Yes. We average like 1.23 games.
Yeah,
per
so
day.
that's right. Average 1.23 games. And we estimate that it's probably between 500 and 600 hours of Wingspan. Seems like a lot of time, but it was worth it. Every minute was worth
Lisa.
it.
You said that like you were nervous about it.
Suddenly I was like,
we're
should I be admitting that?
We're revealing ourselves.
I admitted this to my class the other day. I asked all my students as a warm-up what their favorite game is, and almost all of them said things like Monopoly and Parcheesi. So I went on a small rant about the new great games that are out there, and I mentioned how many times I've played Wingspan. I thought they were all going to be impressed. They were not.
Lisa, I'm impressed.
Well, good.
Okay.
Well, thanks for indulging if you watched, and happy Wingspan.
Happy Wingspan.